Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Booth Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. It is Wednesday night. It is hump day. It is, wow, almost the end of the year 2021. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready for 2022. Question for you guys. My wife said to me today, she said, with flights being canceled and plans being changed and events being canceled, that maybe we should try and do something for New Year's online here on the Joe Booth Sports Report. And we were thinking about doing it as a live stream Zoom call. And if you're a channel member, being able to zoom in to be part of the toast and everything else. Let me know. Leave a comment below if you would be interested in doing something like that for New Year's Eve to bring in 2022. For the Dallas Cowboys, 2020 truly was a disaster. 2020 was just awful. It didn't get much worse than 2020 for the Dallas Cowboys. You saw us with a historically bad defense that gave up more points than any other season in the Cowboys' history. You saw an offense that was good at times with Dak Prescott, but wasn't enough to overcome the bad games. You saw Mike McCarthy coming in as a head coach and questioning whether or not he was the guy. We saw Zeke Elliott go downhill. We just saw so many bad things that it didn't give you much hope for 2022. But lo and behold, the Cowboys turned this thing around, changed the narrative, and did things that people didn't think were possible. Now it's revisionist history. Of course, people thought, oh yeah, we knew Dan Quinn would have done great with the Cowboys defense. We just didn't know he'd do this great. Dak Prescott, the $70 million guy, he's overpaid, but yet here it is. He's the player of the week, offensive last week, and having a really great season. Only one touchdown pass away from his best season. And contrary to all of the talk and everything else, he is a really good quarterback. The thing about football is, it's beyond just having great players and great talent. It's beyond just having great coaching. Sometimes it's luck and it's timing. Sometimes the ball just bounces the wrong way and bounces away from your guy right into somebody else's. And that becomes the difference. Sometimes it's a call that goes your way or a call that goes against you. That's the difference between winning and losing. Sometimes it's timing of when you play somebody. Sometimes a team may be really, really good when you're playing them now, or maybe you catch them when they've had a whole bunch of injuries and they're not the same team. Looking at the Cardinals this weekend, clearly they don't seem to be the team that they were 6 weeks ago. Maybe that's a luck for the Cowboys. But in the same breath, you look and say, when we beat the Eagles, were we catching the Eagles at that point at their weak point? And that maybe they're going to be a lot better this time. We don't know. We'll find out 2 weeks from now. Or excuse me, a week and a half from now. But one thing that's been kind of crazy, and it's almost defies belief, but ends up being, I think, actually maybe the difference for the Dallas Cowboys is the fact that we've had so many injuries. And I know you're sitting there going, Mark, have you been stealing Joe Booth's rum again? Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? All the injuries. Well, here's the thing. When you think about how this season unfolded, Lyle Collins, Tyron Smith started at the tackles. And that's what we had hoped would go through the whole season. Well, Lyle Collins ended up trying to avoid the test, gets suspended for 6 games. We lose our starting right tackle for 6 games. But we end up plugging in Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele got the benefit of playing with Zach Martin, with Tyron Smith, with Connor Williams, Tyler Badash. We bring him in. He's the only change right there. We got Tyron Smith. The Cowboys' offense is rolling. It's a small hiccup in there. Well, La'el Collins comes back. There's no rush to put him in there because Tyron Smith's playing. Tyron Smith gets down. But now you end up shifting Terrence Steele over there. First start for Tyron Smith wasn't a good one, but he got better. He got better because he had gotten that time in there because La'el Collins was gone. You follow me? He's now got experience. Now the great thing is hopefully we get Tyron Smith back for the playoffs. In which case now we've got Terrence Steele, who is a starter who can back up. Michael Gallup, he hurts his calf. He goes out. You get Noah Brown in there playing for Michael Gallup, getting experience, right? He's still got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper there. You see what I mean? So you're plugging him in there. He's getting game day experience right now via live action like it's practice. Come playoff time, we need him. He can play. Well, Noah Brown is out with COVID or an injury. And Malik Turner gets experience. 61-yard touchdown run. Now, you got a backup for the backup, even though we got Michael Gallup back. You've gotten depth that's now got experience of being a starter. And the same thing, I look at saying, I don't know that Micah Parsons is as good as he is if D-Law doesn't get injured. See, sometimes in life, we don't change until we're forced to change or have to try things new until you absolutely have to. Think about the last 2 years. Companies have flirted with the idea of people working from home. But they thought about it and said, people might not be that productive at home. They might be sleeping late. They might be spending all the time with their girlfriend. We don't have people there that can watch them and make sure that they do their job. So companies were hesitant to have people work at home. Oh, maybe you can work a day or two at home, but we want you to come to the office. We want to see your face. But then COVID happens, and now it's a choice of being shut down or having people work from home. They were forced into that. But then they realized, wow, we can do this and actually be as productive and cut down on our overhead because the people at home, they're paying for their printer paper. People at home, they're paying for their heat. The people at home are dumping their trash. The people at home are paying for their lights. We don't need this big building. We can actually be better because of this change. But they didn't want to try this change because they were scared. Well, that's the same thing about playing Terrence Steele. If La'el Collins hadn't gotten hurt, hadn't gotten suspended, Terrence Steele wouldn't have been ready to take over for Tyron Smith. We probably saw Ty Nsekhe in there. We saw how that was. That was a disaster. So things don't evolve unless they're forced to. But because the Cowboys, it seemed like on a weekly basis, we'd get somebody back, we'd lose somebody. We'd get D-Law back, Randy Gregory would go out for a couple of games. But this has opened the door for other guys. Jordan Lewis gets COVID. Kevin Joseph comes in, and I think he gave up what? A 1 yard? 1 yard? One reception? He gets experience. And so now, 2 weeks from now, you've got playoffs. With the playoffs starting, You now have depth, probably better than anybody else. You look at the Cowboys, we're close to getting Blake Jarwin back. Tyron Smith was limited today in practice. You literally have everybody on the offense. When you drew it up and said, here's my starting lineup. Tyron Smith, Lyle Collins, Zach Martin, Connor Williams, Tyler Badish. We got Tony Pollard, we got Zeke Elliott. We got Dak Prescott, we have Dalton Schultz, and we get Blake Jarwin back. We've got Amari Cooper, who's healthy. We've got CeeDee Lamb. And we got Michael Gallup. And if we need, we've got Corey Clement. Hell, we got Cooper Rush. We got Jeremy Sprinkles. We got Terrence Steele. We got Connor McGovern. We got Malik Turner and Noah Brown. Here it is, Tampa Bay has lost Godwin. Mike Evans is hurting. They're really down to just Anthony Brown. They've lost all kinds of players. You look at our defense. We've got a D-Law who comes back, has only played a couple of games, who's hungry and hasn't had the whole wear and tear of the season on him. You got Randy Gregory, who's missed a few games too, who's playing lights out. You got the Lion and the Eagle that are both Defensive Players of the Year candidates. But in there, you just got back Tristan Hill about 4 games ago, although he sat because of a 1-game suspension and COVID. He's got fresh legs. And you just got Nabel Gallimore back like 2 or 3 games ago. And he is basically picking up where he took off last year, where he was trucking guys like Mike Pouncey on the way to Big Ben. Now, if it was this year on the way to Big Ben, it's no big deal because Big Ben can't get out of his own way. He can't. But you look at this, and now you look at the secondary. You got Donovan Wilson. You got Malik Hooker. You got Jaron Kearse. You got so many guys that have played valuable minutes on the defense. You can rotate and keep people fresh, wave after wave after wave. And I don't know that there's any team out there that's going to be as healthy as the Dallas Cowboys are. Literally, the Dallas Cowboys, when they penciled in and said, here's our day one starters, have every single one of them. They haven't lost guys to season-ending injuries. It's crazy. And you have to look at that and say, yeah, Cowboys, they could be ready for a run. And this, again, is one of those things, like I say, you got to have luck, and you got to have timing. The Dallas Cowboys' timing and getting healthy is here at the end. That's the perfect peaking for a team. So, with that being said, it is raining out here a little bit. It is a little bit chilly. And I'm not trying to get sick. And it is kind of late. Let me know about what you guys think about doing a New Year's Eve live stream and Zoom call. What we can do is we can put the Zoom link in for the channel members in the community tab, and you can get your favorite beverage, and we can be drinking into the new year and toasting and saying goodbye to 2021 and hello 2022. Interested? Let me know. With that being said, God willing, I hope to be here tomorrow morning, but make sure tonight you tell somebody you love them.